Hello, teacher. My name is Lisbeth Vasquez Morales. Currently, I am a student of linguist teaching, and today I will be present my thesis topic, that is the use of Anglicisms in the mother tongue in Spanish, a current situation. In this study, I will talk about Anglicisms. Anglicisms are words or models of expressions proper to originating from the English language, but which are commonly used in the Spanish language. That is a type of foreignism, and the great influence of English on various cultures and regions is known. Spanish has not been left out of this global process. Currently, there is a large number of Anglicisms used daily by Spanish speakers, who often don't realize that certain Anglicisms have their equivalent in Spanish. Words like chat, smartphone, whiskey, logo, and like are used today as if they were Spanish terms when in fact they are not. Uh, the purposes of this study is to show that Anglicisms are very important today, although some people interpose or don't agree with them because our language in Spanish, since it is necessary to understand that some words in English don't have equivalents in Spanish. The research objectives and questions, and in my general objective is that a description of the perception that people have in relation to the use of Anglicism in Spanish. And my specific objectives that are three. The number one is find out beginning of Anglicisms from the linguistic point of view. The second is describe the real use that of Anglicisms in the Spanish language. And the third is describe the young people and adults have with regards or what thinking about to the use of Anglicisms. The problem here is despite many years speaking one or more language, people still have a vision of the other words that are not proper to their language, that are incorrect or inappropriate for their language, such as Spanish. The language is constantly changing and the language is made by the speakers. The problem is to see how people use these words just out of habit or without knowing their real meaning. The third Anglicism with the value of idiom of the English language has been documented in Spanish since 1784 by Lorenzo in 1996. However, one must move to 1948 to find the first relevant triestyle debate entry to the study of the Anglicism in the Hispanic world. Anglicisms in contemporary Spanish from Panamanian Lauer that first appeared in Thesaurus magazine in the form of article and later as an introduction to the Dictionary of Anglicism in 1915 from same author, without taking away the merit of having been one of the first to analyze so wide and monographic. Then, Bloomfield has already proposed two types of influence on contact between language depending on the relationship between the provider language and the received language. The cultural known and the known imitate. The cultural known occurs between two cultures that have the same status. Imitate borrowing occurs when speakers of the language share the same territory and one of the language is considered the dominant language. That is an institution of power. The current situation, the decisive step towards the modern concept of Anglicism didn't place until 1980 when Pratt published the book Anglicism in Contemporary Peninsular Spanish, where the results of his doctoral thesis were collected. The specialists agree in affirming that this work by Pratt constitutes the most innovative, rigorous, and complete work of all those that appeal until then, and therefore its value within the studies of Anglicism in Spanish is unquestionable. Pratt, in 1980, cites that for him is the first acceptable definition then of the term Anglicisms, although we consider that its validity is questionable, since it is limited only to whose case that appear in the present, which prevents its application in research focus on the other fields. For this part, Smith, in 1989, is one of the first, along with Pratt, to treat Anglicisms from the descriptive point of view, without prescribing use. In this way, with an open and flexible approach, Smith points out up to 7 types of Anglicisms in Spanish, that is, his option should not even be considered as such, whose that acquire unknown meanings in English, or morphological extensions, or Greco-Latin origin, semantic trace, lexicon, a syntactic collocation base of an English model, whose that have already been fully integrated into the language, and Anglicisms or phrase Anglicisms of French origin. Okay, then we have Pratt classification. Pratt divides Anglicism according to the number of elements that make up the term universal and multiverbal. The universal it subdivides them into patent and non-patent Anglicisms. The patent Anglicisms divides them into spelling in acceptable and unacceptable. Unacceptable spelling, it is the one that is in line with current Spanish spellings yet lines, and unacceptable is one of that is not. According to Pratt, the acceptable spellings are not very numerous due to the difference in the spelling structure of the English and Spanish language. The author classifies into original spelling retained, whose spellings that not suffer any change, simple reduction spelling, postcultural spellings. There are very few. These are spellings that change for morphological reasons. Imitative spellings of the original Spanish pronunciation, spelling resulting from the Spanish pronunciation of the spelling original, non-Spanish orthographical combinations, all that are grouped here spellings that are not found in Spanish words wherever is distribution within the word. The next, unacceptable graphics. There are 2 letters used in English that traditionally not used in Spanish, K and W, and graphics of unacceptable distribution. And well, this is all, teacher. Thank you for your attention.